Okay, continue with the previous slides on status. Status is a socially defined positions or rank given to groups or group members by others. So basically, status is actually socially defined positions or ranks that will be given to groups or members by others. So it is a significant motivator. Status is a significant motivator that can cause dissatisfactions if it is not knowledge. For some people, for most of the people, for majority of the people, status is very important. It can be a motivator that can cause dissatisfaction if it is not acknowledged. So status can be formal or informal. Formal especially awarded through title, facilities, for example, through title status, for example, datuks or doctors. So is that considered as a title? Facilities depend on the office. For example, if the officers, if you go and see them, they have like a luxurious space of office, or they have a big office. So these also carry with the status. So status normally high if they have high space of office, or if the office is located in the very important view or very nice view. So that's considered also status. So in the organizations, status is referring to the symbols, for example, like mentions large office, high pay, good titles, for example. That's considered as a formal types of status. So status also can be informal, especially if it is awarded through based on some attributes such as educations. Sometimes people treats other people differently based on the informal status, such as high level of educations, high in terms of age. They have like older age also been treated differently. In terms of sexual gender, in terms of sex also can be treated differently. So this considered as a informal example of status. So status equity is also very important, because if people believe that status difference exists in the group, sometimes people can consider status differences in the groups are fair. Sometimes they consider unfair. So when inequity is perceived, that means when the status difference in the groups is perceived that is not fair, this will create these equilibriums that will result in the various type of corrective behavior. So let's say in the society or in the organizations, employees perceive that the status given to them is considered unfair. They will do some corrective behavior, such as they show on the putting less on their effort. They put less effort. They sometimes steal from the organizations, or they sometimes show some withdrawal behavior, such as always absence, or always come late, for example. This actually can be the effects of, because we perceive that's inequality in status. Size also can contribute to the effectiveness of the performance. Group size can affect the overall behavior of the employees. Normally, smaller groups is more effective, because the smaller group consists of several members, a few members, is effective in completing the task, because fewer members actually can make tasks completed faster compared if the groups have more members. It seems like if the group have more members, it could be complete the task faster, but actually when the large group members tend to involve in social laughing more, where they tend to gossip more compared to if the group members is smaller in size. So larger groups consistently can get better result in problem solving. So if the aim of the group is to solve the problem, so larger group perhaps would be more suitable compared to smaller group. So the guideline for ideal groups are larger groups normally consist of 12 or more members. This good at gaining diverse inputs. It is important to have larger group if the aim is to get diverse input from each of the members. Effective if the goal is to finding the facts. So smaller group is better at doing productive inputs. So smaller groups normally consist of 7 members, and smaller groups is more effective for taking actions because smaller groups, smaller members, they are more responsible for their roles. They are also more productive because they are accountable. The manager also can easily pinpoint who didn't do the job effectively if they have smaller numbers of members in the group compared if they have more members in the group. So social loafing is based on the size also. The larger the size, the more members tend to involve in social loafing. So basically, social loafing is a tendency of a group members to do less than they are capable of doing if they do individually. So social loafing, they try to take advantage of others. The rest of the members perhaps put more effort. So social loafing, those who practice social loafings, they will put less efforts. They do not want to put more effort, so they just take advantage of others who are putting more efforts. So the compositions of the group should be heterogeneous. So heterogeneous group which composed of dissimilar individual versus homogeneous group which composed of basically similar types or similar traits or similar compositions of the groups. So heterogeneous group, if the groups have more diverse ability, they will have more diverse ideas, diverse informations, and they also have more, the creativity will be increased. The group also will be more effective if the groups consist of more heterogeneous members. But however, having more heterogeneous members can lead to more conflicts compared to the members or to the group that have homogeneous or similarity in terms of culture, background, and so on among the members. Okay, the compositions of the groups is referring to the group demography. To what extent the group share common demographic attributes in terms of age, gender, race, educational level, salary, and so on. So it's basically based on demographic informations when we talk about compositions of the groups. So cultural diversity in the group, sometimes the member may come from different kind of culture. So cultural diversity referring to culture as a system of values, belief, and custom and habits. They are carried over from one generation to other generations, can be reflected in language, technology, and economics. So in the organizations, they are encouraging members or employees that come from diverse backgrounds. So it is important for the organization to create a climate in which all group members will feel that they are valued despite their differences, different diverse background. The organizations should create a climate which can make group members feel they are valued and making that they are also making valuable contributions to the groups. So group structure provide framework within which the group can functions. So group process is referring to the interactions between group members. So when we talk about group process, we talk about the interactions among the members in the groups. This includes communication patterns, includes group decision process, leader behavior, power dynamics, and conflict interactions. So group process can either enhance or hinder the performance of the group, depend on how they carry out or how they manage the process effectively or not. Okay, group cohesiveness is referring to the how much members are attracted to one another and motivated to stay in the group. So the more cohesive the groups, the more attached the group with each other, with the members, the higher will be the performance of the group. So group cohesiveness is referring to how strong is member or are members attached to one another and motivated to stay in the group. So cohesive group imply as more effective because members generally tend to agree and cooperate with each other. So in a group, it is important to cooperate because the group is formed with the aims of cooperation with each other, to have a cooperations with each other, to have one group, one member rely on each other. So the more cohesive the group, the less conflict will be among the members, so it is more effective. Group communication is one of the basic group process, can be defined as an exchange of informations and meanings by two or more people. So when we talk about group communication, we talk about exchange of informations and meaning among members of two or more members in the groups or in the organizations. So group communications begin with the feelings of ideas of the sender. So you already learned this within in the class business comm. So communication start with the sender. Sender need to send the informations, convey the informations to the receiver. Normally, sender begins the communications with the feelings and ideas, and these informations or these feeling and ideas will be encoded in terms of message. This message will be transmitted through mediums or channel. Sometimes we call it channel, can be televisions, telephones, and so on. So message is transmitted through mediums. So sometimes when the message is transmitted, there will be some filtering and distortions of the information. So filtering is the omissions of part of the message, and distortion is deviations from the original. So sometimes when you send a message, the message is not received fully by the receiver because the channel omits some part of the message, or the message is being deviated from the original message. So the reception of the message is important, where the receiver decodes or interpret the message that they receive, and how receiver behave in response to the message. So the message that the receiver receive will be interpreted, and the behavior or the feedbacks of the receiver will depend on how the receiver respond to the message. So last is the feedbacks. Feedbacks is when the receiver receive the message, they interpret the message, and then they will send a feedbacks regarding the message. Feedbacks is referring to providing the informations on the consequence of the message to the sender. So the receiver provide the feedbacks to the sender based on the message that they receive. So this referring to the conflicts and cooperations in the groups. Conflicts in the group can occur when group members have different goals and they disagree on how to achieve the goals. So goals can be different. Member may have different goals and they disagree on how to achieve the goals. So diversity of the members, because members come from diverse background, so they may have a different way of how to achieve the goals. So diversity actually can stimulate creative ideas and also could lead to conflicts. So diversity is important because they could come with the different ideas, creative ideas. However, the disadvantage is in terms of conflicts, because diverse can lead to conflicts, and conflict can be destructive if not managed. So diversity can have a pro and cons, especially in terms of creative ideas, can lead to this the advantage of diversity in the members. But there also